What's up, fight fans? Mr. Mustache here. We got a really exciting upcoming bantamweight matchup that I want to talk about. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and to also help this channel grow. Alright guys, getting right into it. Upcoming on the Johnny Walker versus Magomed Ankalaev 2 card, January 13th, the first card of 2024. We got undefeated prospect Farid Basharat taking on Taylor Lapilus in the bantamweight division in a fight that I think this is going to be a fight for Farid to continue his undefeated streak. Taylor, who has been in the UFC before, he made a UFC run about 8 years ago. I think he went 3-1. Not really sure what happened with that. Maybe he just wasn't exciting, because that usually seems to be what happens with the UFC, even if you do pretty good. But if you don't really make much of a name for yourself, then they really won't give you really a whole lot to work with. I know he comes out of MMA Factory over there in Paris, where I think, what's that guy? Is it Ferdinand? Coach Ferdinand? I'm not a big fan of that guy. I feel like he hurts his fighters more than he helps them. But I really don't think a lot of those guys have many options over there in France, as where that sport has been kind of like the black sheep over there in France for a long time. But with Taylor, he's good, talented, has a lot of decisions, which I think really has hurt him when it comes to staying in the UFC, because the guy's 19-3. I mean, he it's not like he's a chump or anything. Still young, only 31 years old. He's coming off that win over Cowlin, that fucking crazy little Irish dude. But like, that guy, he had like no fight IQ. And this is a tough one because Farid shows no weaknesses. I mean, just dominated Damon Blackshear, finished Cleetson Rodriguez in the second fight. I mean, the guy really right now, just really looks phenomenal. And going against a guy like Taylor, who, he's got wins over Wilson Hayes, but who doesn't over the last 5-6 years. He hasn't really fought any big names. Even when he fought in the UFC 8 years ago, nobody really, he had one finish, 3 decisions. There's really not a whole lot to say, and he's a good kickboxer. He's got good striking, but he doesn't have that sense of urgency, I suppose. Like, the way that I'm speaking right now, the excitement that I have for this fight, kind of, when I talk about him fighting, kind of feels like how he fights, in a sense. Just a lack of sense of urgency. And going against, like, Farid, who is the definition of sense of urgency, who really goes out there and smashes his opponents. He really, like, smothers them and big bullies them and big brothers them. It's pretty impressive to see. And I think this fight against Taylor, who he's not bad, but he's so quiet and non-flashy that he flies so much under the radar. So he can go out there and upset a lot of people, upset Farid. But to be honest, I feel like I haven't seen enough of him to really see that he can find any weakness in Farid's game, because right now I feel like Basharat, him and his brother, man, they're both fucking good. And I think Farid, man, he's going to continue his undefeated streak. I just don't see any reason for him not to. But this is MMA, man. Like, anybody can fucking win, like, anytime. And that's why I love this sport so much. But when it comes down to breaking down this fight, I just don't know much about these guys. But from what I've seen, the little bit of tape that I have seen, I'm taking Farid on this, just because I haven't seen a chink in that armor yet. And Taylor, with all of his experience, he's been to the UFC and fought. He's left the UFC and has come back. Maybe he had visa issues. Who knows what was going on? I really just don't know enough on this to where I can really sit here and make a solid, like, analysis of Taylor's game. But if I'm going to sit here and talk about Farid, man, he smothers his opponents. And I think that we could possibly see that again here against Taylor. But I'd love to see more of what Taylor can bring to the table. I'm very interested to see this matchup. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I'd be very interested to hear your guys' opinions on this matchup. Very open-minded. That's going to do it for this one today, guys. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.